Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Empress Cup. This is the grand finale, one day that everyone is
Let's
waiting
make the
for,
whole
especially
world
both of these
green
teams
and
right
lively.
here, given the fact that they have worked so hard to be here. Let me introduce you to Team point 0.9 Meow Meow. That's on the blue side as of now, and they are going against Team
Sir,
Underdogs Rise.
what's your
Both of them
command?
very talented team. So let's start away with and I'm your caster Peachy, the voice of this match, and I'm joined by Debbie today. Hello, Debbie. How are you doing?
I'm really excited, PT, because this is the first time but me, I'm gonna be, casting alongside with you for
Yeah.
the female tournaments, right? This is my first time in the female tournament, and I'm pretty sure, the draft might not be very different far away from the guys' tournament. So I'm really excited because, whenever I watch this kind of gameplays coming on for the female side, most of the time the assassin appears, the fighters appears, and it's just overwhelmed me sometimes, and I'm really happy to see what they can bring here.
That's true. That's true. And
Let
right off
them
the
play the
bat, they are
hero.
with the
I will
drop
be the
very
truth
quickly.
this world
Fanny will
desperately
be a
needs.
very good band. That I feel like that
They
is
call me a
targeted to
hero
point
because I
0.9
saved
Meow
my
Meow.
nation
Given the
from
fact
falling
that
Mhm.
apart.
they are very well versed with playing the Fanny, but with that, following it up, YSS is also there. Now again, a lot of
Ah,
junglers are getting banned off from the side of Team
yeah.
Underdogs Rise. What about the fighters? Only Yuzhong's looking. I'm just so far. This is just the Yuzhong.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of understandable for Underdog Rise to try to limit out the possibility of jungles because they do really have a way to try to play the Yisensin and the Fanny as well, even with the nerfs because it's just with the mobility that she have, it's kind of like one of the topmost pick junglers as well. And Yisensin, we cannot forget about
Let's
this hero. It's
go.
always gonna be there because of the farming speed that he have. You
The
cannot really give it
southern
away
seas
where you
are
whenever you are
my
onto the red side you
domain.
have to take it away, but also a ban coming through from the side of a 9 they have to take away the Iritel. Maybe they are just trying to give chance for the Granger to appear because their goal laner sees much more comfortable on the Granger than any other
Let's
heroes.
hear from the crowd.
That's true. I
Make
was expecting
some
a
noise for
first pick
yours
Granger, given the
truly.
fact that you did see a Irithel ban off, but that's not the case. CC will be prioritized for Underdog Rise. As much as seen them, yes, it is a very good pick for them. But this time around, Team point 0.9 they want it onto their hands, but coming off with a little bit of a different pick. I haven't seen a Grok in a long time. That's gonna be such a surprise for me. But Sarah
Hmm.
coming up with the Zushin. This just
Yeah.
closes off
Butterflies
all the
born by thy
utility
wish,
junglers
guided
right there.
by lantern's
Yeah,
light.
it's like,
Always on the
when you
way.
pick out a first pick a Jushin, you literally have a statement whether you have to choose where you want to go for the tank jungle or you are forced to play the assassin. And I'm pretty sure 9 Meow also have that kind of assassins that they can put into the jungle as well because the Hayabusa is still out there openly well. And, the Hayabusa is a really, really good hero to go against the Matilda as well. I'm pretty sure, I mean, I'm not sure if they play the Lancelot to try to go against the Zushin, but it will be a good one because now that the Zushin is appearing into the hands of Sarah, you are more likely to use the Hayabusa most of the time, but yeah, we're not sure if the hero pool fits it.
I am not liking the Bakshia pick so far. You do have a
Yeah.
Jushin in front of you. It just screams
Experience the
up,
euphony.
but there is
Rocks
a way
need
they
no
can close
protection
off this
from the
Bakshia. But
rain.
at the same time, Granger as expected already on the table. Now I like the Granger pick. Their team
Hmm.
UDR did not went in for a marksman very early on. They
Yeah.
kind of want to know what kind of a junglers they pick. As of now, the Bakshia is
Light
a
me up and
a
watch the
mix.
world
It's
Mm.
burn!
it's not confirmed for the side of Team Uria that it is a roam or it is a jungler. So let
Yeah.
them guess it out. But they know they have to utilize that Xbox
Yeah.
to the full potential. He can melt it down, and he will
Hmm.
be.
And I'm also pretty sure that that's one of Ria's signature pick, right? The Xbox, and it fits so
Payback
well with the
time.
draft right now that 9mm are already bringing because the box is already appearing. So you might really want to use another true damage dealer onto the other side too. So I was actually skeptical about the Boxia, like you already mentioned, because the Zushin is already out there, and was there was also a chance for the Xbox to appear, which it
Muscle of
already
iron,
does. So
bones of
even if
steel.
you put the boxer into the jungle or the room, you might actually be suffering because the jungle is already the expert for the side of UDR. So, this is a tough choice for the side of 9mm to make. Maybe they can send the boxer into the room and try to pick out the assassins, which is still a valid choice, I would say, because there's no answer for the Juicing just yet.
Oh, okay, okay. No mate so far coming in, and as expected, Team Uria will be looking for the maids to be getting banned. Now, Angela, very wise choice given the fact that it pairs up very well with the Park Shaw or even the other players if they need that kind of a help. One last ban, a fighter should be there, but that's not the case. Again, both the teams are putting those junglers on a pedestal. They are just
See
guessing as
value
of
in
now, and
me?
I'm really loving that.
You
Bans are
should.
over,
Hmm.
looking quite great. But back to the picking phase. I want to see something. Maybe like a carry might come up, but that's not the case. Very quickly,
Oh.
Siren goes
Chivalry is
in
dead.
with a
I
Clint.
will
I
revive
don't
it.
want to know the thought process though. I'm not sure about the Clint.
Because I'm pretty sure there
I
were a
didn't
lot of
kill the
options
king.
available to go into
I
the
harnessed it.
gold lane, because even the 1-1 was still a valid choice, but still it can, literally be they are just trying to put a gold laner that can win in the lane and not get bullied by the grandeur a lot. Even the Moscow was still available, so maybe Siren
When the
doesn't
body
want to have
suffers,
a
the
weak lane
spirit
into the goal
blooms.
lane into the early phases of the game. So there's a possibility that they want to go for the snowball potential. But then again, one of the comfort for the side of 9mm, they have to go for the Benedetta into the XP lane. So which means it's not gonna be the XP lane, right? Because it can go into the jungle. Or wait. It's not gonna be a roam, right? It's not gonna be a roam Benedetta, right?
Oh, oh my god. Are they actually putting a Benedetta on the roam? No
Oh man, if they
way.
have to it has to be jungle, right?
The hunt
I mean,
begins.
oh, they are swapping it up.
Oh, there
Yep.
we go. There we
Yeah,
go.
let's go. But it's quite unusual to look at a Benedetta. You know, one thing I really like, pretty girls
Mm-hmm.
picking up pretty heroes.
That's right, that's right. Because we have a lot of PT heroes already until the both sides too. Even the Ruby last pick, it's a very very high self build hero, but I'm pretty sure the Bennett does well against those again against the Ruby in terms of assassins, which the assassin usually struggles against the Ruby, but I'm pretty sure the Bennett will be able to do well. And yeah, that has to be the answer for the Jushin pick coming out from Sarah as well. But I'm not sure how well it's gonna be playing out into the jungle because we haven't seen Benedetta jungle much. So yeah, what can they do here?
Yeah,
Even without the petrify, it's gonna be actually harder to catch out onto the backliners as well. But it comes down to how well they're gonna be playing because then again, UDR they have a well flowing marksman as well.
that's true. And with
Done.
that, ladies and gentlemen, let me
All
welcome you
troops
into the land of
deployed.
dawn. Here we go. This is going to be the best of seven, the first match you guys are witnessing. Let me know in the comment section which team are you guys rooting for. Is it Team UDR, who's on the red, or is it going to be Team 9NN, who are on the blue as of now? Both the junglers moving forward with a little bit of a quick rotation. They do want to help out the Benedetta as much as they can. It's a wise choice to do that, but at the same time, I really love how Team point 9mm kind of wanted to match the mobility that Team Uria have. They do have a very fast rotation. Look at that. Mid lane
Hmm.
already over, and I'm pretty sure they don't want to go to the EXP as soon as possible.
Yeah, looking at the start of the game so far, this is kind of a meta where you wanna have that early game into the mid side most of the time. You wanna win onto the mid lane every time, and then so that you'll be able to rotate so well. Even the XP lane is so much of an importance as of now. But now if we check, because the Jushin is more likely to win in lane against any other heroes. So now that the first one was banned away, the Valentina was a safe choice for them to go for, but it's more of a utility for the side of 9mm as as well. So maybe the early game, I think UDR does have a chance to go for the snowball, but it's also dependent on the first turtle who's gonna be able to take it first. Because if you look at the jungle as well, the Xbox does have more sustain than the Benedetta for the early part of this game, at least on the first turtle.
Alright, so no first blood coming in. Total already in 10 or less than 10. As of now, Remy already around the map, just making sure that the bushes will not be taken down. Now, there's a little bit of a level difference between both of the junglers that will be affecting the retribution level. But oh, Bashia though looking
Ooh.
quite low. I'm not liking that, given the fact that it is of most crucial turtle for both the teams.
Yeah, this is gonna be so bad if he's gonna be if he's not able to heal up on time because being the fact that you order Rima, the Baksan needs to be at least full HP to try to go make for the set, but Nico right now might be in trouble.
Oh, okay, Neko does kind of rely on the the bloodlust, but I'm unable to get the damage right there. Go to the first blood, but they are moving forward, taking away the farm from the Benedetta. Now, no, wait a minute. We are going to still can't take it away. That's not the case. But grab the armor down. That means they are going in. Valentina at the back lane. Sitting down Ria. Next on the top block would be Remy as well. Third might be Siren as well, but they are backing off.
This is a very bad for the side of UDR right here. They lose out the turtle, but they also lose out two members as well. Most importantly, they lose out their jungle, even though they were able to get the blue. But the Benedetta is actually kind of hero who does not really need the blue, but the gold is going to be required, which the turtle already provided for them. So 9mm, the starting point that they have right now. They are sitting in a good position where they can try to go for flanks most of the time, which UDR was supposed to have, but now that they did not have their XP laner for that turtle fight, which was a very good game coming out from 9mm as well, I would give them credit for that. They are able to start to have that early game that they wanted, that they are looking for as of now. So it's gonna be dire for UDR to secure the second turtle at least and not lose Ria in the process.
So as of now, all the game is into the hands of Team Point 9 and the aggressiveness is really backing them up. With a little bit more different, they have Zara though, pops up the ultimate, making sure to stay in safe position.
Oh,
And constantly trying work, but wait a minute, Kero will be crushed down. The turret damage, so that's a lot, but Ada
yeah.
not liking that. And she has the ability, and Ria won't be able to win her now. They come to Nico as well for the circling. Wait a minute, Valentina popping up. I really like how Valentina has been there as a main damage dealer every single match. Like he was able to lower down the defenses of Raga armor and as well as lowering down 25% of his HP from the other members. So that's what's working very well. But oh, Sarah though once again the guiding winds will be making sure she will be safe.
Yeah, that was actually a safe part for them. But right now, UDR, they are losing the control of all the map and the boosters that they were supposed to have into the early game. But now that they have, for at 9mm actually, that they have the lead onto the goal wise as well as the map control too, they might eventually be trying to take but bot lane though.
Oh, okay. Target yanked up, but moves again into the team by Bragama already down really quick. One fall down. Now talking about the same. Ria will be going down and with another easy turtle for the side of 2.9 now.
Yeah, that's a very comfortable hero for Ada here as he's been playing the Benedict Science with the XP, so it was actually so good to see her onto the jungle as well. But yeah, a very good decision for the rotation coming out from the side of 9mm as well, trying to get the re-engagement, which Adai's Minor was able to walk away from without even losing her HP. So UTR, I think they are in a very dire position as of now. Even if we check for the late game, they're the one actually losing it, but look at that.
Oh, Ria once again gonna go in, but the Vino did not get off the almost low, the link with the perfect damage. Now they are facing a lot of EXP loss, a lot of gold loss as well, but UDR still trying to not get busted down. As of now, the score remains 5 to 1. 6 minutes into the game. Top lane, a little bit focus is there, but there's a lot of time for the turtle, So can we look at the
Yeah.
items for, what kind of a path that they are going for?
Yeah, we really need to see it because even the Gwenda, who is completely free farming, have got two
Oh,
items already. That's the Sky Beater as well as the Hunter's Fight. This is definitely going to be good. But onto the other side too, Sarah is going to opt to go for the Sky Piercer as well, which, when you kind of snowball with the Jushin, you do have that kill pressure onto your hands. So maybe this is just she's just trying to go for it too. But yeah, onto the other side of the clean. Siren going for the first build onto that endless battle. It's just a kind of giving a true damage. Also, maybe she wants to go for the, a little bit of a sustain as well as a damage on top of that. And it has to be it. But I'm pretty sure, she's gonna be needing a little bit more items to deal out the damage the clean is necessarily trying to go for. But now that's a lot of gold are all already onto the hands of the Granzer here. Akiko. She will be hurting a lot even if she's taken out of the lane.
so as of now, a team Meow Meow are still getting ready up to the turtle. They want it very quickly. I know they're kind of on a delay. The Lord, as of now, trying to get as much as farm once again. And they Sarah though, that's still a lot of damage coming in without just picking it up. Free farming. Range of free farming, that's quite a lot, but team UDR, they kind of needed a little bit of a snowball from the mid game to the late game, which they are lacking as of now. So naturally, Remy has to support the Clint, and we are looking at the same.
Yeah, I think it's actually very, very dire for Ruby to obviously go into the goal most of the time because there's a lot of pressure already coming in from 9mm, especially from Akiko as well because he's now dishing out a lot of damage as well and there's no winning lane for them as at this point because even if they try to go for a dice miner, she have ways. He have ways to try to go and disengage and the re-engagement is always coming on from the side of 9mm most of the time, which means that UD are gonna be losing every kind of team fights they are taking, but they have to be very decisive. They couldn't catch up to the goal that 9mm has already built up, and moreover, they are the one actually having a good time into the mid game. And if they lose out into the early game, which they already had, it's kind of hard to come back from it. So, man, this is actually gonna be hard for UDR.
Oh, so let's see though. It's number 7. Anything can happen. And with that, we will be facing a pause. Not sure from where the pause is here, from which team, but let's talk about a little bit of a dynamics that's have been going around. 9mm very aggressive. I like that. I like how they are pushing it. They did not exactly have a early game, composition, yet they made it work. CC got enough farm. Granger got enough farm. It kind of boosted out like almost under those 8 minutes getting to items. I know Sketches is really cheap, but it boosts up so much that damage that you have. And with the same, he's up there all around the map, Mr. Worldwide.
So, I mean, like, crazy to see that a little bit of a defense in build for Rhea as well. She's going for the Ice Queen 1 onto the Xbox who is actually behind 2 that's down. Maybe she just knew that she's gonna be actually the one who's frontlining all the damages, so there's a possibility that she went for it, not the immortality phase because he already had the War Axe into the hands, but a lot of damage from Akiko there. Astronaut hitting a lot, and the mid lane might be onto the focus for the side of 9mm, but the good clearance coming out from the side of UDR as well. The law is already up, PG, and 9mm, they have the better control.
Let's see. There's a lot of pressure going down to the side of Team UDR as of now, but 9mm again, of course, like aggression. They know they have to secure that Lord for them. I'm making sure that seeing every single pushes, they are playing it very well. Now, Team UDR will be forced to ensure that the other lane will be taken down. Even though Ria is not on an assassin jungler, they are still doing it. But Neko though, and then Kobe, I didn't like to go. going up. Will be one turn. That's grueling. Grueling as the chopping block there. 2 kills already picked up by Team 9. And then look at them trying to go in for more. But no, they did not get a little bit of that situation.
Oh man, losing out just a Genia into the picture right there. 2-1 trade in the Lord in favor of 9mm again. But you know, one thing that's actually commendable for the side of UTR is that they managed to hold on onto the mid lane so long so far until 11 minutes. Even if 9mm were the one actually taking down the turrets on bot and top lane simultaneously. But this will eventually be the downfall of this mid lane again. The Lord will be giving them a lot of patience for the side of 9mm to take down 3 turrets. That's crazy because now they're gonna be having all the leads that they required, and even if we go onto this grandeur with zero deaths, it's gonna be having a lot of stacks. But still, 0 kills here. They might, for the side of UTR, they might eventually have to focus onto this grandeur so as to not get that damage out rolling against them.
Oh, let's see though. Let's see. As of now, it is into the hands of Team point 9mm, playing out very aggressively. Get it on. Oh, Keropi though. Make sure that he will be spotting every single member right here. Now the pressure is building up with the the mid lane coming in. Look at that. Mid lane was almost down, but the tier 2 though it's just the mid lane standing. As of now, Team
Mm,
UDR really cannot play on the defense. They do have the damage. They kind of need a
yeah.
little bit more on the Clint, but they can't put everything on Clint. If they do, the team
Mm.
9mm can know that they have to focus on the Clint very much. And I kind of like the situation that they picked up a good mobility to actually avoid the Crimson Lantern.
Yeah, and actually, I kind of like I kind of like the way the Baxia is actually playing because most of the time when you see a Jushin, it's actually hard to kite around the map because he's always gonna be there to try to displace you. But she was able to do so well in this particular scenario, going well onto this bushes and trying to check out where the momentum's gonna be. But look at the damage.
Oh, look at that, look at that. First one goes down. That really picked it up, but it's a disband. It was just a quick kill that they wanted. They kind of wanted a little bit more goal on their hands. Because we're talking about the same, the goal difference
Mm,
is going higher than almost touching 10k. And
yeah,
in this point of the game, if it crosses about 10k, it's going to be like deep trouble.
yeah. That's and that's not exactly what UGR really want to do because oh look at Ada man, she's just too comfortable on this hero. That's just there's nothing that UGR can do to try to stop her because they do not have that heavy crowd control that they want to look for. But going one already into the hands of Sarah, which is gonna be giving a little bit of a entire potential as well. But there's a lot of damage into the hands of Ada as well because onto this Benedetta she got like 4 main builds already, a lot of damage as well, and the fact that you can go with any kind of build into Bene, but oh Sarah,
Okay, that was just a teaser as of now that really wants to show Lord marching down. What are they going to do? They really how that steal it away. You have to steal it. Oh
definitely.
my god, that's really beautiful. That's coming in, given the fact that they don't want to give anything for the side of the Yuria. Not coming in, they need to craft some flat up to make sure that they will be getting enough defense onto their hands. What are they going to do?
Oh man, this is actually very very hard for UDR again because they do not have the clearance. The clean, of course, he does have a lot of damage, but it's that he doesn't have the required claim that you wanna go for the late game. So one turret will be falling down for the side of UTR, all onto the hands of 9mm. They are calling all the shots. They are making them make mistakes. But the fact that there's a lot of discipline coming out from both of the teams, but so yeah, I think that they just have to pop out the last insanity to try to clear out the minions. A little bit of a last hope to try to save that bot lane turret again. But minions are pouring in
And I
Um,
think UDR, they are put so much into the back foot that they do not have ways to try to take down even the squishiest of the squishiest of the side of 9mm again, and it's actually very dire. Unless 9mm make a grave mistake or try to rush in and they are getting punished for it, only then I feel like UDR they do not have that much of a green light.
as of now, both the teams, especially for the side of Team Uria, they do have enough resources for the front lines only. The members who are coming in at the front, they have to, break them down very quickly. That is something that they are not having it on their hands. But for the side of Team 9mm, I like how they are targeting the ones in the front. They're just making sure that Remy as well as the Ruby are the ones, out of the way. That's a very good
Mm.
strategy to go about, but they are pushing too much onto the front lane. So I kind of want to see how they will be reaching up to Clint without breaking down the front laners. But at the same time, it's a wonderful strategy that they have picked up.
Yeah, and I feel like 9mm do really understand what UDR are capable of onto the Irithel, especially Siren, of course, the Siren because she's the goal laner, of course. But yeah, onto the cleanse, he hasn't been able to do much because there wasn't a kind of support that they needed for a cleaner needed into the early game. Because when you have a clean on your side, you wanna play for the clean, take him out of the lane as much as possible, get him those items that you're gonna be needing because even with two main items on his kit, the clean hits a lot. But now that UDR went for a different kind of approach, they kind of try to keep the farm more onto the clean and give it a dead lane, which give much more advantage for a Kiko onto that Granger to try to stack up because it's very stack dependent this Granger is, and now it's kind of spiraling out of control, and it's gonna be very tired for Siren to have this kind of top lane role.
So, Rhea does have the immortality. It's kind of like good just by the one hit on the side, but gets picked up at the wrong time. It's will be helping her, but Siren doesn't want to let her go. That's a shutdown and a perfect damage and the goal in her hands.
That's what we're looking for, man. That's what they need. But the Lord, actually, it's kind of for 9mm. They are so ahead into the goal that there's nothing you do all could try to do against them as of now. But they could try to come under this Lord pick because there's one people down, that's one member down. Dice Minor is not into the picture as of now, so this is definitely going to be giving UDR a little bit of a space to breathe. They can have that little bit of scrap that they are looking for and give all into the hands of Siren as of now because she's going to be the main source of damage dealer because a lot of these people, a lot of these heroes that they pick out, even Sarah onto this Jushin is not having that great of a damage that can take down the members for the side of 9mm as of now. But the problem still rises because into the hands of 9mm, they have an assassin who have a highest mobility, which can play who can play the long lanes as much as possible. But Rhea onto the expert will not be able to reach it, like the like Ada can do onto the Benedetta. But now the Lord is gonna be onto the focus of one of these teams. And UTR they actually went back.
So they have to contest or they really need this Lord. As of now, there's a little bit of pushing coming in for Sarah, but that is not enough. They will be losing up the Lord. The Lord goes into the hands of 29 again. They have to pull up with a perfect defense, and if they don't, it's going to be the inhibitors going down, or maybe the Lord sucking down towards the base. As of now, I do look at Siren picking up the Sky Piercer just for a little bit of an
Mm,
edge that she can pick up kills and
yeah.
get the bounty on her head. But that's a good thing. But I feel like they should really switch back to defense mode.
Mm-hmm. And a little bit of a housekeeping that they need to do. But yeah, that still the problem arises with the clearance that UDR does not have. So it's kind of giving them a little bit of a disadvantage as of now. But 9mm, they cannot really just drive in brute force their way into this turret as of now because there's a lot of disengagement coming out that can be possibly coming in from the side of UDR because they do have the Ruby, but bot lane though, Rhea.
Ria though, the other immortality is still running up in her hands. Lord though, that's going to be a little bit of okay. Lord on the higher pitch, a little bit of a higher damage. But look at that. Bottom lane, mid lane already blown off. The next will be the top lane. Yuria slowly pushed out into the entry, making a looking right out upon the quick started making sure to get the damage onto the front lane to be moving over there. Not stop. Look at the line and then march towards the crystal as of now. They're trying to mark it down, but at the same time the Lord falls here. Okay, the first one to fall down. On the second note, they are all low. That's going to be advanced.
One man, one woman, apparently. One woman down for the side of 9mm. That's only the rumor here. Still worth it for them because they are leaving the crystal completely naked. And the next time they are able to take this lord, they might eventually be able to end the game. But one thing for sure is that Siren onto the screen is hurting a lot now with the double shot that she was able to take her pie down also onto the miss of it all. So this is the point where 9mm they cannot risk losing any of their members because even though they have a lot of turrets onto their side, one move can change the game. But a little of damage onto the bot lane side, Rhea was able to sustain a lot. This is the power of the Xbox, man. You cannot try to flip it down. He always have ways to survive. But the lot is up again. 9mm with the discipline trying to get it again. The Roma already back into the picture. UDR, they do not have a way to get it.
They are not going in for the Lord content. That's kind of sad to see, given the fact that CC though pairs up Remy as well as Siren. Just a little bit of a poke damage right there. There's no inhibitors coming in. 21 minutes into the game, the Lord's gonna hurt a lot. The damage is up on the higher bar, given the fact that all the members have almost all items on their hands. Let's see though, Lord's coming in from the mid lane. I really love the aura that the Lord has
Yeah.
on the icon, but they need to defend. They need to come up with the perfect defense. What are they going to do?
This is an evolved lot, and look at that share price going in.
Oh, look at that. No Braga R, but the Vinegar coming in, but Vinegar taking so much damage. Heroic, who do want to have a siren for you? The base of the Lord is standing on the 10,000 extremely difficult from this 1-for-1 trade. The base still trying to get attacked by one last hit, and Team 9mm picks up the victory.
Unfortunate for UDR, but a very, very notable win coming out from the side of 9mm. They were able to get the crystal down with the Evolved Lord, but I would say it was a very, very good haul coming out from UDR as well. They had like they need they have, given the fact that they do not have the best clearance, they were able to hold those 3 lots that 9mm were bringing onto the side too. That was a good one at that they do not have that momentum into the early game, which made them lose. But still, a very, very disciplined plays coming out of both of this team. Well, they were able to play the game so well, and Ada is minor is actually the one who gets the MVP, not Akiko. Very, different because the Gwenton was doing a lot of damage onto this build that she have. 0 stacks onto the Sky Pacer. But yeah, then again, it was all into the hands of the mid trio for the side of 9mm who was able to get the game rolling on.
What a game that we just witnessed. They just made sure to get the counters onto their side. That is for the side of Team 9mm. Look at the stats as of now. The highest damage so far is definitely Siren with
Siren.
64,000. I mean, imagine you're over there, in your lane. For the most part, Remy did come towards the mid game, not the early game. Of course,
Mm,
it's just the length. There's a very little potential of early game, and they could not get the snowball rolling in onto their hands, and that might be the problem for the side of Team UDR. But as of now, it's going to be the best of 7, so you guys know it's
yeah.
not over yet.
It's not over until it's over. Because, there's also a fact that underdogs were coming from the lower brackets, right? They were able to make it to the top and to the grand final. So this also means that they are thirsty and they love challenges. And 9mm, who were the unbeatable ones in this tournament so far, just losing only one game, not even the match. So it was actually very, very
good to see that UDR were able to hold the game for so long as well. So maybe a little bit of a change up into the draft. Give Siren one of her comfort, give her a hero that can win in the lane and get her out of this lane and try to get her into the team fight most of the time. So I think if that can happen, UDR might eventually have a good game, but also it kind of also depends on the mid trio, right? Because for the side of 9mm, they were actually onto the losing side for the mid trio, but then again, there was a little bit of a change up into how the rotation goes in, and they were able to have that upper hand onto the turtle. That first turtle lose that UDR gave away to 9mm was actually the starting point for the domination for 9mm.
That's true. And in a way, I did want to see a team UDR to actually come up with the contest for the Lord. Given the fact that for the Lord they did have resources, but in a way they were lacking the front lane as they were getting
Yeah.
bursted on very easily. So that is also another reason that they could not do that. But this time around, I'm pretty sure both of the teams will have answer for each other.
Mm. It's like, in best of a seven series, especially onto the grand finals, you're testing out the waters right into the first game. You want to see what your opponent is capable of, and and then try to get them and attack them with what you got. So I think this is what they are trying to do here. But what I want to see, PT, is Fanny onto the hands of Ada. If she can
Yeah.
do it, if it's open. I really really want to see a Fanny, because the last time I've seen a Fanny was from Sedo Esports, and it was
Oh,
satisfying. Yeah, Clara, man, she was goated on the Fanny, and of course Lancelot. They do start the Lancelot game, but it was actually very very good. But yeah, I think Ada can do it too, man. Because these two teams, they were completely ignoring the Lancelot also, right? Which is a very very great hero to use.
that's true. That's true. So let's see. Let's see. I believe we are going in a break.
Oh,
Yep. Let's wait for the teams to get ready and then we'll be right back.
Popple and Koopa are the best partners in the world! Go, Koopa! Uh-oh. I'm running out of pranks to play. Come and protect me, Koopa! Don't move, don't move! I'm aiming my spears at you! Koopa is Papa's best friend, and only friend.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are back again with the
Sir,
second
what's your
match.
command?
Very quickly, let's dive into the draft.
Let's
Again,
make the whole world
I'm your caster
green
PC and
and
I'm joined by
lively.
Debbie today. Hello, Debbie. Once again, I'll ask you the first match. That was absolutely good. This time around, Fanny once again
They
banned. I'm
call
kind of
me a
sad to see
hero
that.
because I saved my
yeah,
nation
man.
from
I
falling
already said,
apart.
right? I want Ada on the Fanny, but no, you cannot get what you want, because even UDR knows that they cannot let go of the Fanny, or in fact the Yi Sun Sin too, because they are two good heroes. I mean, one of the best heroes in this meta into the jungle especially is the Yi Sun Sin. This Korean boy will not be making an appearance in this grand finale, but still the same band coming in from the side of Nine Meow Meow as well. They have to take away the Florin too and the CC, which is kind of a signature for every team. because CC is also onto the rise because she can literally counter, not really
Let's hear from the
directly
crowd.
countering, but
Make
she
some
can
noise for
literally
yours
be a dominator into the XP side, so you do not really want to see that.
truly.
That's true, that's true. As
The
of now,
southern
both the teams
seas
have been
are
proceeding
my
very quickly with the
domain.
bans. Mostly are targeted bans. Now, CC have been such a monumental pick. I do believe that looking at the bans since Team 9mm are onto the red side, they did capitalize on banning of the CC. So both the sides is just a push and pull. Last game it was into the hands of Team 9mm and they don't want to give it out again. So that's a good thing. But I still feel like Matilda should be there on the ban list.
Yeah, Matilda, it's got to go because she kind of it creates a lot of havoc, and even though you weren't able to get the win onto the Matilda, it kind of comes down to how you wanna give it away. But Xbox is gonna be the respect band
Light me
coming out
up
from the
and
side
watch the
of 9mm, so.
world
This kind of give out the fact that we were actually mentioning that the best of seven series and the grand finales, you want to see what your opponent is comfortable on into the first game, and this is exactly what 9mm are doing right now because they have to bend away the Xbox because they know that Rhea is also actually very comfortable on that, and maybe they are also trying to give out their XP, whichever hero they are going to be picking a great time. But first picked onto the hands of UDR. What do you suggest, PT?
Is it going to be a Zushan once again? I mean, if they do,
Oh,
Team 9mm were really, focused and they knew that they can counter it on very much,
Let's go.
very wisely as well. But with that
yeah,
siren, with this classic signature pick coming in, I have
that.
seen her picks up Maniacs and Savage with the Irithel. I want to
Mm.
see it again in this game as well.
Same. It's actually one of his one of her signature picks. So I really, really like that. She finally got her hands onto the Irithel. But actually still the fact lies that 9mm they were actually willing to let go of Siren's signature pick. Maybe they do have ways to try to counter it because if they eventually do, I will not be surprised. But they have been loving the Gwenta quite a lot, so I'm not sure what they're gonna be doing. They also changed up their lineup quite a lot. Not the lineup, but their lanes a lot, especially between Ada and Akiko. They love changing their roles, but whatever it is, the Farsa was completely left open. Now that the Kadita
Muscle
was
of
banned away
iron,
by UDR,
bones of
the Farsa
steel.
is actually a good pick. So the question
Payback
lies though,
time.
does these two teams don't like the Gimme because they are completely ignoring the Gimme?
I know, right? I mean, where is the Kimmy? In the middle lane, she works out
Yeah.
very, very well. The damage is top notch and the mobility works out very well. But right now, talking about this match, Kimmy might not be a good thing. But oh, Sarah does goes in with the Kimmy along with a Uranus. So, Uranus,
Ah,
since they know CC is not on the table, it's a very easy pick for them.
actually, now that I think about it, the Uranus has fallen down quite a lot, and people
Fighting
hasn't been
Kimmy!
able to pick it up because it can be highly countered. But
I've
then the
been
CC was
waiting for
actually
too
banned for the
long.
side of 9mm. Right now that they have an options to go forward, I don't like the carry against Irithel in lane, but when it comes down to team fights, she'll be actually deadly for the Uranus here. So maybe they wanna, for the side of 9mm, they wanna have that winning lane into the XP first, and then take out your carry from the lane and get onto those team fight as much as possible because it depends onto the user as well because this is kind of a hero where the range is very short and ESL punishes any kind of short range heroes. But as aforementioned by PT here, PT Matilda taken away.
Yep.
Always on the way.
They kind of know as of now, team 9mm, that Uranus is there as the front liner. He's gonna tank so much. You're gonna see how much he's gonna tank at the end of the stats. But with that, classic bands coming in, classic target band, which is a good sign. As of now, it's looking good for both the sides. They kind of want to
When the
dodge
body
the high
suffers,
mobility heroes. Talking
the
about the
spirit
Fanny, the
Mm.
blooms.
Benedetta, even Vices does comes like 50% of the in the same category. So
Rocks
it's
need
looking good.
no
But
protection
both the
from the
sides, they don't
rain.
have junglers. The target bands are really looking good.
And yeah, these target bans are already in PT, especially into the jungle, right? Because Rhea's expert also taken away, so that's I mean, it's not. We are not. There are so many valid options to go for into the jungle too, but now that the Esmeralda has got actually banned away, I think they just want for the side of UDR.
Night
They just want
sky
Neko
tells
to have a
all.
greater time into the lane because the Uranus does not win or lose against the Esmeralda. It kind of comes down to 1v1 situation most of the time. None of the teams dying, but
See value in
that's
me?
a Fredin appearing against a
You
Kimi
should.
onto the hands of Ada right now. The Sigma into the jungle. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but I'm pretty sure this hero is just broken.
Agreed. But even my thoughts are on 50-50 as of now, given the fact that Sarah is on Kimmy, and that can potentially slow down a lot for the Fredrin. Can slow down a bit for the Gatot Kacha as well if they do position very well. But with the classic,
There's nowhere for
meltdown
the
phase that
evil
we are
to hide.
looking at
Test.
Ria with
Alpha
the
is
Alpha.
online.
Now, along with the Alpha, I do see a Rafael. A long time no see. Most of the teams don't go for a Rafaela as of now, but this is such a new start into the game number two.
Yeah, this is a different pick. I thought that UDR could actually go for a kind of a CC hero. Even the Minotaur could have you know been valid, but they really wanted the alpha, so they went for the healer and the alpha combination, which is actually quite valid here. But still, already XP. Oh, okay, Gatot is still a flex, so if they go for the glue here, I'm pretty sure it will be eventually a disruptor for the backline most of the time if Ada is minor will be able to play and get out of the lane as much as possible. But then again, it's kind of a classic combination. When you see a Uranus, you already want to pick out the glue because you wanna imprison that Uranus onto the lane as much as possible because when he is out of the lane, he creates havoc to the team and give out a lot of vision without even dying like a sitting duck. He's just a visioneer most of the time. But a little bit of a solid choice coming out of this both of these teams. They have their lineup straight. They have a lot of damage again. But what's most important is gonna be that first turtle because they have utility and fighters into the jungle. You do not wanna be behind on whatever level you are in. You wanna have a lead so it comes down to the mid trio who's gonna be setting the pace of the game again. Now that the lineups are set in. Okay, it's actually the Gatot Kacha and the Test of Care Boy still. Let's see what they can do with this kind of pick, a disengager and a
Till the
re-engager for
enemy
both
reaches
of
the
their sides.
battlefield.
But let's go
Smash
into the game
them!
two, ladies and gentlemen. We have
All
again
troops deployed!
UDR versus 9mm into the game number two. UDR with 0 wins as of now, with 9mm having the lead win-wise with this kind of different lineup that they're bringing out. No assassins anymore, and a fighter jungle still into the hands of Rhea. Let's see who's gonna be coming out on top in this engage. A little bit of poke coming in into the mid side. Sarah onto this, Kimmy will be able to have a greater time that she did on the juice and into the early phases of this game, but a little bit of early rotation, the stun coming through. Ada is minor, does have the way to try to escape all those onslaught, but the XP creep will be taken away. A little bit of a triangle rotation coming out from Rhea as well, not entirely getting the bigger crits as well, just trying to get out the minions, the smaller crits onto the bot side too, trying to deny Ada of that one small cam. But Jenya and Kirapai are able to have their position into this bush right here. Sarah with the lead, the tons not connecting just yet. She will be able to survive. Not much of an action coming through. Just a little bit of a slow farm coming in because both of these teams they do have utilities into the jungle. But Jenya was taken so low, but will be still able to manage to try to get onto this last hit onto this minions, which is not going to be giving her a minus and a disadvantage. But yep, both the teams are trying to play it slow as possible, but definitely the winning lane has to be the gold lane for the side of UDR, but OpenE might be caught taunted again. The first but under the hands of Ada. Not really looking good for the side of UDR as well. The turtle is already up, no roamer for the hands of UDR as of now, and 9mm they might eventually try to get this turtle as fast as possible. But then again, they do have
for UDR, they do have a way to try to poke out because the Sarah onto the Kimi might be eventually trying to do all the pokes that's going to be needing. But Nico already into the picture now. The Texan pulse connecting into 2 members as well. The damage are there. The feather airstrike will be used, connecting onto no one as of now. But the AOZ will be connecting. But Turtle will be taken away by Rhea. He has a lot of damage onto Ada here. The sun's coming through. Davis Sarah will be able to get out a lot of damage onto it, and all into the favor of UDR. The one loss that they have, they will be able to kite back, to bounce back with that one turtle take. Still, a little bit of a one equality, not equality, but not much of a difference coming out from both of these teams just yet, because this is a very slow pacing game. We are seeing as of now that's not much that they can do here into the early phase, because no assassins means no what do we say, no actions. But the top lane is onto the focus again. Siren actually winning out into the lane as expected, because this is an Iristal playing against a carry. So for UDR, they can focus onto the winning side that they have and not lose out onto the members, because it's going to be dire for them to try to stay alive most of the time. So this is what they could try to do. But onto the XP side as well, the Glue actually doing a really good job in trying to hold out the Uranus onto the lane. But that's a Spear of Alpha connecting onto Genya, will be falling down into the hands of Sarah. That's one kill onto the hands of UDR, the top lane. There might be a ton coming out from Two Sisters, but not much of a damage done just yet. They have to back away, so UDR with the one lead that they have as of now, not much of a compensation coming out for the side of 9mm. Level 6. Okay, if we focus onto the jungles level here, the Fredrin does have a really good, doesn't really have that much of a good farming that the Alpha already have, so Rhea might eventually be winning out onto this objective, so she have to try to keep up the level lead that she have as of now. So right now, not much of a spacing coming through. Both of the lanes actually doing a dead lane as of now, but the turtle is going to be spawning a lot of damage coming through from Stara here onto the turtle to Neko onto the picture as well. Ada just trying to get into the door. The Texan fall will not be connecting, but Ada will be the one securing the turtle. The other extra will be used, and now will the kill onto Rhea as well. Double kill. Neko falling down to 2-0. 3-0 if you count the turtle. Onto the hands of 9mm, that was a very good and a winning trade. Ada with the perfect retribution was able to get it, so this is gonna be a 1-1 retribution battle. Both the teams are winning, but Jenna and Carepar eventually just trying to give her the reason for Akiko here, trying to give her a little bit of a spacing, so the team UDR will not be able to get a pick off on her. And you do not really want to see out the carry dying into the early part of this game, because this is going to be the main source of damage dealing potential that you really want to use on against Nico, against Uranus. So I think 9mm are really doing a good job trying to protect their MMS because Akiko is 0 deaths now, but okay. There was a little bit of a tease coming in from Dreamy as well. Nico already getting out of the Thunder Belt. A little bit of a sustain is going to be having, but here Pry just trying to get a ton, getting on to Siren as well, but C has to walk away. A freeze coming in from Akiko as well, but the Irisel does have the range to try to get onto those minions, but when you are so much out of your turrets, you are more susceptible to be taken down. But Ada here trying to get a ton. Will she be able to do it, because the Holy Baptism is there to try to stop her from getting any damage or any ton. But a lot of focus is done onto the top lane, because this is the gold lane we are talking about, but Genya will be trying to get that airstrike to save out the mid turret. So when you spend too much time onto one lane, you are bound to lose out onto this mid lane, which you do not really want to do, because the mid lane is going to be the one of the most important lane turrets. I mean, you do not want to give out the space from your jungle away, and yeah, that's what they're doing here. A very good one at that. Oh, Akiko was actually taken very low. No mana for Remy as of now, but they might be eventually successfully taking down this top lane turret, but Ada will be securing that turtle, a little bit of a trade over on top. So not much of a casualty just yet, but a little bit of equalization in goal. But still, 2k lead for the hands of 9 as of now. But Ada with still trying to get that red buff from Rhea. So I'm not sure if they are aware, but this is a very good decision from them from 9 They were able to do this so well.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there, but Sarah though, okay, ooh, there was a little bit of a lead, but we have to go into the pause, and I think even PT is back.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that, but I'm back again. So far, looking at the match once again, team 9 with the aggression. They are very much aware that they want that early game anyhow onto their hands, and they are playing it right with the card that they are dealing with. So I'm really liking that. Putting glue against the Uranus, that really screams like they don't want to show that the lane, the exp hero that's going to win the lane, they just want to clear, come to the team fights.
Yeah, it's just that the glue is so good against those kind of utilities too. So it's kind
Yeah.
of perfect for them to go for the glue as of now. And when you have a Uranus, you really do not want to give her ways to go out of the lane to be the disruptor for your team, right?
That's true. That's true. Both the teams do have enough manpower to tear down the front laners, but it just depends on the execution how they go around with. Well, it kind of feels like Team UDR wants that mid game to the late game once again onto their hands. But if they let the members farm up, especially the marksman as well as the mid lane, that's going to be another deep trouble for them. As of now, you guys are witnessing the second match of the grand finale. And with the same, which team are you guys supporting? Like, so far so good. You guys already know that team 9 did win up the first game. They're trying to get the game onto their hands once again. So I do want to see what kind of a strategy they have this time around. I don't see much of a, how do you call it, counters much.
Yeah.
They don't have it, but it all depends on the execution.
And the execution matters a lot in this tournament, especially when you go against this kind of composition. So it's kind of you have to be very good in your mechanics when you use this kind of hero for both of the sides, I would say. But then again, the team fights is actually looking good for the early game. It's actually looking good for the side of UDR, and eventually Siren onto one of her comfort means that she's gonna be having a great time into the lane too. And when you put an Iritel against a carry, of course the Iritel is going to be winning it out. But most of the time, I think 9 were actually doing great in trying to keep their opponents at bay, not to let their goal lane be taken away, and even it comes down to how the mid duo were rotating, and even Ada, she was able to get a steal onto the red buff from Rhea as well, and the turtle too. So that's definitely a good sign that they are looking as of now. But when we see that a team fight will be breaking through, with the amount of burst coming in from Rhea onto the Alpha, and the heal that they have onto Remy as well, they might eventually get the wins. But the problem is that 9 they do have a lot of crowd control, a lot of distractor,
Yeah.
and they have a shredder onto their side, which is the carry. So this is where the little bit of a small decision makings will be coming in handy.
That's true. And on top of that, the Fasa as well as the Gatot Kacha is such a underrated combo. You don't realize how much Fasa has the range as well as the Gatot Kacha. Gatot Kacha can make anyone out of the
Yeah.
comfort position. That is really a good strength that the Gatot Kacha has. But
Yeah.
putting someone off position, that means Farsa can utilize. So that is something I do want to
Mm.
see. It's just a little bit closing down to the mid lane as of now. So let's see. Both the teams are not much aggressive, but team 9 did make sure to get it onto their hands very quickly.
Yeah, they are so good at equalizing and not giving that much of a lead onto the hands of UDR, which they have for the early game. So they are the one actually having that lead here. So they are actually doing a very good decision making in how they are rotating all over the map, and this is gonna be coming in handy most of the time. But
So the thing is, UDR does have a Kimmy, does have Sarah onto the Kimmy, who has been popping, poking quite a lot, especially onto Ada. She haven't been able to walk up because of the slowdown coming off of the Kimmy and the traction pulses as well, and the damage coming through the continuous damage. It's gonna be needing that radiant armor, which is gonna be taking a little bit of a time to try to sustain that much damage coming out from the Kimmy too. But then again, that's not only the worries that they have to look for, because Siren onto the Edistal with zero deaths has been completely free farming, and I don't see anyone trying to get through her. The only way that they can try to get through Siren is if they have that AOZ onto the perfect timing,
Yeah.
and also the Farsa, right? She does have the damage, so they have to be perfectly on point and on the top level synergy so as to get the damage done on Siren too.
Let's see. Just a little bit of a pause. I know you guys are still waiting. What would be the outcome of the match? But even I'm curious about that. So let's just wait a bit and let's see what will happen. Looking at the map so far, I do feel like into the mid lane something might be brewing.
Yeah.
I love the way Ria and Sarah is just around together as of now, just waiting for the perfect time. But glue is there though. If they want
Yeah.
to actually get a initiation on, they have to make sure to position themselves away from the glue. You know glue. It's too annoying.
Yeah. He's such an annoying hero to deal with, especially when you are on the utility too. But like you mentioned, a very good position coming out from Rhea too, because with the traction poles already in, we might see a game here, PG. Alright. I thought, the traction poles was already there, but that was a little bit of a, what do I say? Joker game. Nah, never mind. But yeah, a little bit of a slowness again. 3-1 score onto the scoreboard. 8 minutes already. These two teams, they don't want to brawl, man. They don't want to fight. They just want to get that objective rolling and going on for them. But a lot of damage coming through from Sarah as well onto the
Yep.
Kimi and Siren onto the ADSL too. But yeah, it's already 8 minutes going 9, and there's no dead bodies all over, because 1 to 3 into the scoring, this is what you do not easily see.
That's true. Both the teams really won the late game. On top of that, Team UDR, even though they are not on the goal lead, they still managed to up their EXP as equal as their opponents, which is a really good thing. How that they are holding it out. Mid lane might be in jeopardy. There's just like two members, but as we said, that airstrike at the perfect time. Oh, wait a minute, traction pull is there. But you know what's crazy? I don't see any
Mm.
purifies.
Yeah, no purifies for both of the teams. I mean, they do really want to go for the flicker so as to be stopped from losing out all those fights. So you have to replace yourself and you have to reposition most of the time. But the Lord's gonna be blitzed down by Siren here, trying to get the tempt on it. They're just trying to bait it out, but look at the damage. Oh my.
See? Let's see, AOT coming in. That means Rhea has to go back. The plastic forces didn't help Rhea to make sure she will be surviving, but into the back lane. Siren will be taken down. That's the main member you're talking about. The star is still there as the secondary damage healer, but they are low. There comes the respawn for Siren to make sure that she jumps back into the team very quickly, but wait a minute. Neko looking quite low, moves out of the way. And the next on the topping block would be Rhea. Of course, that's like four members fighting against one.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness, is this game more?
It's not all while Keropi looking like close, just a few XP away. Neko did capitalize the kill. Siren will be taken down once again. That would be the magic damage for you coming in from the far side. 3 members down, that means it's the Lord going down into the end between 9 and then.
Yeah, that has to be, but Sarah doing a lot of damage has to trigger away the Holy Block team as well, but look at the damage! Sarah with 1
Oh, no way. She gets the taunt coming in. Other though, capitalize it, and the Praise's Wrath hitting right on the face. That just hit perfectly. But now, the loss coming in. The minion, the pressure's gonna go up high.
Ah man, I was actually saying that this was a very slow game, right? Under 9 minutes, there weren't any fight. They were seeing just 1 and 3 kills onto the board. But now that they were full on brawling, it was so long that even Jenya was back into the picture, taking down Siren again, who was back after dying once. And this is actually not good for the side of UDR. You do not really want to give out the deaths onto Siren. You want to tank out all those damage for her and give her spacing to try to get that damage done onto the frontliners from 9mm again. But a good fight coming in. Look at the ton.
Oh, that once again takes away the mega skill that would be Sarah. Now they did pick out the damage dealer, but they do have Siren though. I don't like the positioning coming in, but that run is taking in so much loot. That comes in, making sure to get out of the way. HP will be there on his side. The lot coming in, there's Siren as well as Remy waving it out. Ludo, God's work. Look at that blue. Look at that blue. He's just waiting for that window of opportunity, but as of now, Siren is isolated, will be targeted down, but no, there comes the sprint for her. Blue does make sure to get out of the way, but no, immobilization by the Timmy will be solving. His distraction will come in for the most two tankiest of the members as of now, but they have to go back.
Man, there was a little bit of a discipline coming, a loose on the discipline coming out from the side of 9mm, but what a play made by Ada Ismailers. She was able to zone out the members from the, especially the DPS coming out from the side of from UDR, and which that kind of makes 9mm get that turret down. So 2 inhibitors down for the side of UDR. They do not have the spacing now. They are not playing it slow again for 9mm. They have the damage that they were utilizing it so well. For 5 to 10 kills onto the board under 30 minutes of this game as of now. But Ada, maybe she might try to get it on.
Oh, wait a minute. Siren though has to move back just enough. You know, she doesn't have her friend, so I don't think she wants to go in. But AOD making sure Neko will be sprinted out of the way. Neko with the rewind like just making sure she will be surviving, but that's the case. Ada missing out on the appraisal rather, but gearing up for the Lord might be another easy Lord for the side of Team 9mm.
Yeah, until UDR try to contest this, they do have a very, very tanky Neko Uranus, but the problem is that she does not have the way to try to get onto it because she does not have the CC. And there's a lot of crowd controls coming out from the side of 9mm as well, but look at that though. Siren? Oh. Baptism coming in, that was a little bit of a disengagement coming through, but Sarah will be falling down to the hands of Tenya. That's a taunt coming in, not connecting on to anyone, just at 2 members down for the side of UDR. Meanwhile, 5 of them still available for the side of 9mm. That's going to be a response. Sarah into the back, into the picture, will be enough to clear out onto the minions, but who's caught here?
Oh, look at that. For the rest, just will be making sure that they will be out of the range. But Neko, though, really contesting for a little bit of a kill. No, she doesn't have enough support to backing her up. But there comes the let's let Akiko will be the first one to take down the Lord. Second Lord into the hands of Team 9mm. But AOG, though, stopping Neko. That's a lot of sound. Fashion pull, just little bit sure, making sure, but Neko gets the turn. He won't be surviving. Zenya with a perfect kill. Ada will be taken down though. That will be the offer for you. Now Carrie still dealing damage. Keropi next onto the topping block. They did manage to put out the members that they were truly annoyed with, but the lot coming in. The minions are here. This is the biggest minion you're talking about. The magic damage is going to be a lot for Siren, but they are still trying to wait it out. There's a stun coming in for Remy, looking quite close. Jade Sarah waiting it out. The Lord onto the turret. One more hit. It's a Siren with the perfect defense. Team UDR did it once again.
That's 2mm you're talking about. The power of having 2 marksmen, a very good scaling marksman onto your side. This is what they are doing. The clearance is so good. This is what they didn't have into the first game for the side of UDR. And now they are doubling out the high ground that they have with the Irithel and the Kimi. They were able to turn the tide around. The base HP is so low that we cannot even see it, but they were able to defend this. That was a perfect one. A little bit of a breathing room for UDR right now. They are scaling it up. Even Siren is already hurting a lot, and even Sarah, who was so consistent onto the damage that she was dealing, she have been the main factor into this game, especially against the Fredin, against others. She was actually giving them a very, very hard time, but the only thing that she required was a little bit of spacing because for Gimme, you want to pair her up with someone who can soak up the damage. So in the right scenario, oh, combo.
Neko, that's so much damage that Neko has taken. That's just barely took 2 seconds to take her down.
Yeah.
That is going to be such a problem. But at the same time, Akiko though, I did see her 50% of his HP down. That means Team Uria do have the damage onto their hand. But the only problem, the front laners are too tanky.
That's the problem actually, and they weren't able to do the thing that they wanna do with the Uranus because it looked like they want the Uranus to be the damage taker and give out their marksmen the spacing to try to get the damage dealt done on the members for 9mm. But when you are chunked down very early, especially against a carry, you cannot really do that because for the roamer onto the side of UDR, they have a healer, which is not the tankiest person. You wanna have that tanky frontliners if you want the healer, if you want your healer to make it work. But I think also 9mm do understand that the only way that they can try to get into the backline is tear down the frontliners, and this is exactly what they are doing. Even if on the worst case, on natural scenarios, you really do not want to give away those get those resources against a Uranus. But now that they know that the Uranus is the main frontliner, the only frontliner for the side of UDR, they are eventually always spontaneously taking him down.
The only thing I don't like about the Uranus is just she's just charging in without any support. You did see her just few moments ago. She was just waiting it out. A little bit of a follow up was much needed, but once again the Lord. And this time around
God.
Team 9mm are up with a synergy, the lane sync, which I'm really like. Talking about itemization, most of the teams do have enough items onto their hands, especially those
Oh
marksmen and the mages already done on their hands. Now what is left that is just to pick up the immortality. Team UDR might will be needing it. I like how the AOG comes in
oh
perfectly. Siren will be evading that, but Ada looking quite low. Blue on to the other hand, just make sure that this Alpha will be zoned out. Oh, the AOG a little bit on. This is what I was waiting for. The flicker perfectly. You coming in, and the crystal
oh
taken down. Another win for the side of Team 9mm.
9mm, the ever undefeated team. They are actually a very new team, and now this actually this is crazy. The way that they're playing with so much discipline, waiting for their main damage souls to scale up. This is exactly what they are doing because Akiko with the full build already melting down Nico most of the time, and always almost a good decision coming out from Ada most of the time, taunting out Neko because they know that Neko is the sole frontliner. Without Neko, the backliners for UDR couldn't do anything much, and this is exactly what their key points are, and they are following that theory, and they were able to make it work. 9mm, their decision makings are perfectly on point, and I feel like this time around for UDR they need at least two frontliners to make this 2mm theory work.
That's true. That's true. Look at the damage serving though. This time around, the highest damage, almost closing down to 1 lakh. That would be Sarah. 96,000. Very well done. But they really need those frontliners, as you mentioned, Debbie. They really need to make
Yeah,
sure the one thing about Team Uria they were surviving was because of Remy's heal. They kind
yeah.
of needed it, and the Holy Flask at a very certain situation, you did see it helped out like 90% of the times. But again, how about Akelia though? I do want to say Akelia works like a little bit of like a mini Gatot Kacha for me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But eventually, if you want a Kalia, you would want a Shredder, right? And it would work well for 9mm as well. But I feel like the early game is kind of the slow pace that coming on from both of this team was eventually good for UDR. But then again, it comes down to what their frontliner was. And I don't blame Neko, man. She was always the target for the side of 9mm, and you cannot really survive that much even if you are a Uranus when they have a true damage dealer, which was Akiko onto this carry.
No. And with that, I do believe we are going in a break.
Yeah, we have to, I guess.
Yep, you know we'll have to wait for the teams to get ready up once again for the game number three. As of now, team 9mm have the upper hand.
Nowhere to run. Nowhere to run. Where there is light, there are also shadows. Loneliness never bothers me. Our victories will be limitless. Never look back if you have nothing to regret. Let my will bend the earth! Like a string puppet, you are totally under my control. The future of Cadia Riverlands is in our hands. You are failing, the Oriental Warriors.
Apple and Koopa are the best partners in the world! Go, Koopa! Uh-oh. I'm running out of pranks to play. Come and protect me, Koopa! Don't move, don't move! I'm aiming my spears at you! Koopa is Papa's best friend, and only friend.
It's my job to protect Homelander.
Sniper ready. Give me a target. Focus. One shot, one kill. Target locked. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to run. Where there is light, there are also shadows. Loneliness never bothers me. Our victories will be limitless. Never look back if you have nothing to regret. Let my will bend the earth! Like a string puppet, you are totally under my control. The future of Cadia Riverlands is in our hands. You are failing, the Oriental Warriors.
Apple and Koopa are the best partners in the world! Go, Koopa! out of pranks to play. Come and protect me, Koopa! Don't move, don't move! I'm aiming my spears at you! Koopa is Papa's best friend, and only friend. Let's make the whole world green and light.
Sir, what's your command?
Light me up and watch the world burn!
They call me a hero because I saved my nation from falling apart.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome you. I will, love to welcome you all once again at the third match of the day. This is the grand finale. Team 9MM with the lead of 2 onto their hands. What are they going to do? They are getting very closer towards the victory. Will UDR allow them to take the victory, or will they stop it? But at the same time, Team 9MM are moving too fast. So love to see what's gonna happen. And once again, on the cast is there. It is Debbie with me. Hello, Debbie. Welcome back.
Yeah, we are good. Happy
Let's
to be back
go.
again and happy to see the same bands coming straight from both of these teams because EDR, they have their priorities right. They want to take away the Yisensun and the Fanny. Of course,
Let's
take
hear for
away
the
these two
crowd!
heroes, of
Make
course,
some noise
against
for
9MM.
yours
And of course,
truly!
it has to be the CC Bing Band away again onto the red side. You really do not want to give away the CC for anyone. But now that 9MM knows what Siren can do onto that Irritel again, they have to take it away. But still, a respect band coming in through and a very, very constant band that they did onto the Florian as well. So Xbox take it away from Rhea. So she basically goes for those fighter jungles. So maybe there's a possibility that we will be seeing Rhea onto
Muscle
those
of
fighters again.
iron,
But now that the first pick
bones of
is onto the hands
steel.
of 9MM, they have the Gatot onto the first pick. Very safe, very flexible.
Agreed. Now, last game, they did make sure to capitalize the Fasa as well as the Debbie Fasa combo. I do want to see it once again, but that's not the case. Fasa could be a very good pick right here, but they want to go in for the Baksha. They want to make sure
Rocks
they have
need no
enough front
protection
laners.
from
A
the
little bit
rain.
of a flex pick once again. So let's see what is it going to be on to the mage or other marksman, though, given the fact that the Granger is up for a push and pull.
Yeah, and I think I really, really like a Granger too if it's worth it. But still, Sarah
Butterflies
onto the
born
utility
by
mates
thy wish,
again. I really
guided
like her
by
onto the
lantern's
magic,
light.
on the damage mages. But I feel like they wanna go for this Jushin and more of a damage because she was opting to go build out those Sky Piercer, and I think it will work out this time around because they have the box, yeah, normally which always usually goes into the jungle. So it's kind of a deny as well, but still a very very fast response coming out from 9mm again. They went for the carry onto the second pick, which is what they directly want to go for. So the first side is still out for grabs, but if do they want to go for the first side here?
Oh, maybe Farsa could be a very good
I've
pick, but
been
as
waiting
of
for
now,
too
they
long.
know
Oh,
that
When the
it's
body
going to be
suffers,
Zushin onto the other side. They are just
the
slowing
spirit
it down.
blooms.
But Benedetta, though, I mean, for first game, she was very, very much comfortable, just making sure to get enough onto their hands. But what is it going to be? 9 of them are really full of surprises, and they are really full of
yeah.
counters, which I really like.
They are straight to the draft, right? Most of the time, no flex whatsoever. But a little bit of a counter onto the gold lane, a siren onto the early game, a mate again, which can literally be a menace onto the
Pain
mid game,
is the
and
proof that
especially a
I'm
very, very
still
good
alive.
counter for a low range hero like
The
the carry
seven
here.
seas
But
are
still, the
my
bans are in
domain.
again. The Kadita
Always on
ban
the
always
way!
gonna be constant, and the Matilda ban onto the hands of 9mm. Now that the marksman wasn't picked
Payback
up, not
time.
the marksman, the mate wasn't picked up up, UDR, they have to take away the first sub because he got a very, very huge artillery. And I'm pretty surprised that uh 9mm actually went for the Benedetta first, then the Farsa, so they have so much prior onto the comfort of their jungle, so that they will be able to have a quick rotation and a very, very comfortable spot as well. But UDR, now this time around, they have a utility onto the jungle, a hero like the Baxia, so they might eventually try to get that early game going on, because there's not much of a damage we can do against the
That's true. And as of now,
I will
team
protect you.
UDR went ahead with an early marksman pick. They kind of don't want to counter the carry. They don't want to counter the Benedetta, but they just want to make sure they can burst it down very quickly. At least take down 25% or at least 50%. That's going to be a lot. Now, Siren would be definitely equipped with the no, not the sea hell, but the blade of heptasis, so that's
UDR.
going to be such a movement boost as well as a little bit of damage boost onto her hands. But the band's looking quite good though, but the Lolita being there as a very sus member, is it going to be a Change?
A Tangi or a Kimi is still out there, a valid option. But the Kalea definitely good for UDR here, because they do already have a tanky
Blue
frontliners into
team's
the
been
hands of
itching for a
Rhea right
real
now, because
fight.
they have the Baxia. But the Kalea, it's just you wanna play out the mid game with the Kalea, and if you are gonna be pairing it up with the Brody also, it can still work. So it's actually very, very fine and a safe option for UDR to go for the Kalea right now. But still, two choices for 9mm to play against, and the Hylos onto the
My
hands
mission
of
is to
Kerpai.
protect
She wanna
lives.
play the Hylos so as to not give away a easy pick off for the Kalea, which is a very, very valid choice also. And I feel like still the Hylos and the Gatot is still a flex, and Gatot into the XP might eventually work, because still they can actually flex it, because no XP has been picked up for the side of Team UDR too. A lot of major choices, and still no
Crowned by
Kimi.
heaven's
Actually, they want to go
mandate,
for the
my legacy
global
shall
ultimate in the
endure.
Woozy Town.
Oh, let's see. As of now, there's a lot of uh, damage right there onto both of the hands. They need something of an EXP lane. There's quite a few choices that they are presenting in front of us as of now, but I feel like they need something to slow down this Hylos. Hylos going to be such a game maker or a breaker right there, given the fact that the slows is just going to go a bit of a problem. I don't want to see a bit of a
Let
Mincetar
them
coming
play the
in, but that's
hero.
not the case.
I will be the
Yuzhong being
truth
open will
this
be
world
capitalized.
desperately needs.
Yeah, and this has to be picked away for Remy for Neko here. But I feel like the Yuzong does really well, but you have to be a little bit supportive of the Yuzong into the early phase, because you do not really want to give away the lead onto the opponent XP laner, which is definitely gonna be the Gatot Kacha. A lot of faster rotation coming in from the side of 9mm again. But still, I feel like this time around, UDR does have that kill pressure, just because of the combination of the Brody and the Kalea as well, because these two heroes are more likely to have a chance to win out from the mid game. And if they play their cards right, especially into the early game, UDR might have a chance this game.
Agreed. As of now, did not win any game. But ladies and gentlemen, let's see if they capitalize this game or not. Into the land of dawn.
Enemy
Here
reaches the
we go.
battlefield.
Third match of
Smash
the
them.
day. This is going to be very
All troops
closer for the
deployed.
side of Team 9mm to reach for the trophy that Team Empress, the further side that Empress Cup is giving them. But it is going to be a best of seven, so a little bit step away.
This is a room Hylos we are talking about, so a damage should go into the hands, but she's gonna be actually punished quite a lot, because this is Sarah onto the Jushin, and she might be eventually able to get the bullying going on for a Jushin against any tanky heroes. And I get why she was actually trying to first pick the Jushin too, because this time around it actually healthily working out. Now that there's a utility on both sides for the mages, it always comes down onto how the execution goes, on how well the team fight is gonna be played out, and how well the gold laner is able to come online and how early it is gonna be. So a little bit of an 8 given to the gold lane side here. Actually, UD are actually doing a really good job trying to focus onto the gold lane as much as possible, because when you have a winning side, you want to play along the lines of the winning side so that you'll be able to have that pressure going on, and this is exactly what UD are doing as of now.
So let's say early game is very crucial for both of these teams. Last time, the game number 1 and 2 was there into the hands of team, 9mm, but they want to try to go in for one little bit of a first blood situation. Unable to get it for both of the hands. I like the addition of the criteria. They needed it much with the Zushin, so I do feel a little bit of a hopes coming in from the side of team UDR. But let's see the top lane. There's a lot of I love that the mage as well as the EXP wants to get level 4 as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And eventually, even Ada is very kind enough to give away that XP creep, so they'll be able to get the level 4. But the turtle is already up, and look at the fight.
Oh, look at that, you know it.
Oh.
Dragon Ball will be coming out, making passes, but that is a lot of haunts coming in. Remy looking quite low, pop up Slicka making sure, but Stania will be taken out. That was the first collab with Keropi will be falling down. This time around, it's going to be 1 for 2 into the hands of Team UDR.
A good dive coming in from Nico, trying to focus onto the backlines, trying to focus on Genya, and he was able to do it very well. A pick off as well, and a stop in the traces of the turtle. But there was an amazing AOZ. Unfortunately for them, for 9mm, they did not have Ada into the picture to dish out the damages as well as a Genya. So this is actually a reset coming up on the side of UDR with the perfect rotation coming out from them. The turtle is still out there, even already 1 minute gone. But this time around, I think Rhea might eventually be the one having the better step here.
Oh, let's see. Turtle though still not gone into the hands of either of the teams. There comes Keropi forcing out the revitalize, but at the same time, this is just a lot of damage now. There comes the Kimmy though. Takes away the first turtle, but there's a brawl. Rhea will be taken down. That's quite unfortunate. Look at that, given the fact that Team 9MF wants to make sure to get away the the snowball that they gave away, and that's just taking down 3 members simultaneously.
That was a perfect transition of even coming out from 9mm. They're able to get the steal onto the turtle as well as a good set. There was a little bit of a close synergy coming out from those setters here, especially from the mid side. Genya and Genya and Ada Ismaila, with that crowd control that they have, they were successful in giving the kills onto their team side, and this is definitely going to be giving the lead for all the team members on the side of 9mm, and it's actually UDR who's going to have to stop it. But look at that though.
Glorious pathway, just making sure Sarah will be out of position and she will be taken down as well. Another, okay, so far so good. Looks like another turtle might be going down. It's just 1 minute still left for the turtle, so it's just a little bit of slow game, making sure Siren will be ganked. She's very much aware that they might be coming in, but Remy still waiting it out. There comes the tsunami fly right at the back lane. Position with the ultimate, just making sure enough damage and Siren right at the turret number 2 at the bottom lane. She will be taken down. The team did come up though. Neko though, I love the rotation, but it's a little bit slow.
Yeah, and I feel like this is what you don't really have when you are on the U zone, right? You want to clear out the minions as fast as possible, but the faster rotation coming out from Adai's minor is actually giving the lead for 9mm most of the time, and this is definitely going to be good. But Rhea here trying to get something in the Kumar boost. This is actually Kumar boost. But yeah, Akiko was spotted out, but there might not be a fight, but still a little bit of clearance for both of these teams trying to get the mid turrets into the safety as well. But the turtle is already up, and it's a free turtle for the side of 9mm again.
Yep, retribution power is always higher as of now for the assassin. It does get an edge even though you're on a Benedetta, but oh, Zaytara though, 50% of that HP already blown out. Slow comes in with the glorious pathway into the back line. Siren will be brought down. That would be a taunt that she be facing. Now Neko though, their members still waiting it out. I don't think they have enough resources to get the clear on, but once again, McLean, there's a lot of things.
Oh,
Will be taking down the turret damage onto her as well.
That was a great pick off coming on from Remy here, able to get Ada down. So they might be able to trade down onto the bot turret too with one hit away, with this one hit away. Okay, that was actually a little bit safe for now. But yeah, it was a good decision for Rhea to try to go and look for the compensation. Unfortunately, she is on a utility which is more likely to stay and do well together with the team instead of doing alone. And this is going to be costing them one turret down the bottom lane. So all the lanes have loose out onto the turrets. Meanwhile, for the team, for the side of 9mm, they have their turrets still intact, but the bot lane is gonna be actually very vulnerable as of now. But the great rotation, a great choice of targets coming through from the side of 9mm. Even if they try to go for the team fights here, they might eventually be winning it out because Akiko and I thought here will be coming online already.
That's true. That's true. Slowly transcending towards the mid game. As of now, there's going to be a little bit of a pause once again, but hopefully that will be faced very, very soon. But at the same time, though, this game it's definitely a push and pull for the snowball that both the teams are fighting for. I like how they know they have to capitalize the early game. Team UDR did have a moment with it, but they just gave it away. The turtle, though, it's an assassin. You needed a little
Yeah.
bit of a stun onto her to stop her, and the retribution just fell right in place.
And this is definitely giving them most of the objective means that they are gonna be having the lead onto the goal as well. And 2k, 3k goal behind for Team UZR is not actually looking good. But now that they lose out onto the mid turret as well, the map control is all into the hands of 9mm again. And this is actually dire for UDR, man, because if they try to farm up the siren or give the farm to siren, they have to focus onto the lanes. They need her to be safe at all times. But Rhea,
Oh, look at that! Looking quite low. She will be taking down. That's a lot of damage from this carry. And the carry is also getting farmed though. That's also a bad news.
yeah,
Siren though, a little bit struggling, but again, if you focus a lot on Siren, it is gonna go a little bit messed up. But oh, Neko though tries to go in though. They come to the flat dragon for just making sure they will be out of the position. Get okay into the front gate. Will be taken down next. Yuzhong, who jumps in, will be picked up by Sarah, but down there, Atomic Rumi looking quite low. There comes a re-engage from Ada, and with that, members are falling down one by one. This carry with the double kill is just shining right now.
yeah. This is what you have when you have a damage stroker, and they waste your damage. They waste the resources onto your damage. Joker most of the time caught Pie here onto the highlight was able to get that tsunami slam. And Remy, I knew what they were doing here. They were trying to get those advantage to try to get a delayed down the frontliner as early as possible so that they can go into the backlines. But beautiful re-engagement coming out from 9mm. This is able to help them here. And Ada building out 2 damage items already, and Trinity already onto the hands of Akiko means that this is going to be shredding out all the important members. No blade armor just yet for the hands of Rhea here. She's going to be a little bit too squishy for the liking, but bot lane might be onto the focus for both of the teams again.
Xenia just teasing them up with her skills as of now the lot's coming in. As with the concern with the objectives, Team 9mm have been on front every single game, so that is a good news for them. But as of now, Adado, she has to go in.
Oh,
Crimson Lantern just Crimson Beacon just make sure that she will be out of the way. But they need to wait out though. Ada still having her ultimate, so they come the engage. You look at the man moving forward. Siren will be taken down. Next on the talking block, they want to try target the Remy, but the Remy is very far away.
oh my god, that was a very, very perfect synergy coming out from 9mm as well. The engage coming out from Pie and the execution coming out from Ada too. That was a lot of damage already, and I feel like UDR is most of the time they are not the one actually making the mistakes. It's actually what 9mm were forcing them to do, and they are just forcing them to reply to all the kinds of plays that they are making, and they
weren't able to do so because at this point they are so behind onto the goal, and all the goals are all into the hands of the damage dealers for the side of 9mm. And late game brooding is what you do not really want to see. You want a broody to be online into the mid game so that you will be able to get the snowball, and this is what UTR weren't able to do. And it's actually putting them in a dire position, and they have to wait for Siren to have those damage done so as to make it come back.
Once again, it's all into the hands of Siren to make the play, but she herself has been, getting off right as the first. So again, that's a bad news. As of now, the score is doubled into the hands of Team 9mm. Look at them; they wanna go in. They Sarah though pops up the sprint of making sure she will be out of the way. There comes unstoppable for Akiko. Will be prioritized, but Aga with the double kill, so she's not stopping. Goes into the triple. It's going to be a maniac, but no, Siren will be just making sure she will be taken down. But the minions, though, this is just one member against the whole. This is holding it out a little bit. The minions are not coming in. The one minion is just making sure the cannon won't come in. Ah, that's too late. And yup, the minion is out. That means mid lane is there, bot lane is there. They have to wait for this Hara to spawn up as well as Neko, and they're on time.
Yeah, that was actually very, very close for 9mm. They were actually getting a little bit of an overzealousness right there, and a perfect calculation coming out from Siren as well. This is going to be a little bit of a breeding sprays for UDR as of now, but actually they won't be able to take the Lord just yet because there's always some way or another for Adai's Minor to be back into the picture with the AOZ, and this is actually very, very crucial for UDR to keep it in mind. And even they have Genia with the Fury of the Phoenix, which she can have the crowd control and the vision with, but look at the red carpet here.
Okay. Look at that once again. Wants to go into the glorious pathway back lane. Ada is there, just making sure she just gets the taste of the Tsunami Slam, but that will be Sarah as well for busted downside and next to the chopping block, but now she's out of the way. But the members have to make sure that the minions are not going to put any pressure. Another easy lord into the answer team 9.
Yeah, another easy lord, and this was a very, very great decision for them to try to go for a pick off before they went for the Lord and make it a big 50-50. And I feel like I'm liking this kind of plays coming out from 9mm as well. But yeah, then again, UDR, they need to have a little bit of a room for Siren most of the time, but now that they have the Broody onto their side, they might be able to clear it well, but it's not gonna be the best. So with the better settings coming out from 9mm, they have the sinks, they have the lanes pressured in. They might eventually try to focus onto these two inhibitors and leave the Lord alone, or try to go for the end, which is highly unlikely because they have start of events. Look at that.
Once again, the perfect engage coming in from side of T9, and they come to the back of making sure that there are some members who will be a little bit of an uncomfortable position, but that is Tara, first one to fall now. The Lord is targeting the base as well as the members. Lesion looking quite low. The base is targeted, and T9 with another score onto their hands. Look at the sweet victory that they are having as of now.
The sweet of victory they are having, and a sore lose for the side of UDR. And I feel like this time around they might have to ban away the Benedetta and not give it into the hands of Ada, and another hero into the ban list from the jungle side. It might eventually be working out well, we'll never know, but still, hey, even if they have the far lanes quite set out for themselves, I feel like Nico falls behind in comparison to Dice Minor rotation wise, because the heroes that she been put into, it's kind of too early and mostly countered most of the time. So maybe there's chances that UDR might eventually put Nico into a hero that she's so comfortable on that she can rotate all over the map with, which because they also almost need a double hand to try to go for those objective fights, and most of the time it's actually 9mm having the better rotation wise.
That's true. That's true. Look at that. This time around, the highest damage goes into the hands of Siren once again. Look at her though. The stats looking quite well. While the roamer from the side of Team 9 picks up the MVP for herself. I really like the initiation, the synergy that the Hylos had with the whole team. They waited for the
Yeah,
Hylos. They waited for the AOG to drop in, and then members one by one were falling down. And with that, we are going to go in a break just to make sure that the members will be well recharged, making sure they will be coming back very quickly. But now it's a match point for the side of team
that's
9.
point.
Where there is light, there are also shadows. Loneliness never bothers me. Our victories will be limitless. Never look back if you have nothing to regret. Let my will bend the earth! Like a string puppet, you are totally under my control. The future of Cadia Riverlands is in our hands. You are failing, the Oriental Warriors.
Apple and Koopa are the best partners in the world! Go, Koopa! Uh-oh. I'm running out of pranks to play. Come and protect me, Koopa! Don't move, don't move! I'm aiming my spears at you! Koopa is Papa's best friend, and only friend.
Sir, what's your command?
Let's make the whole world green and lively.
Hello, hello, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are, the fun match that Team 9 really want it onto their hands. Let's see if they get it. This is the grand finale, very close to the victory as of now. I'm talking about match point for the side of Team 9. What is it going to be? UDR, they really have to fight back. Is it going to be a river sweep? Now that they are on the blue side, whenever they were on the blue side, the performance was better, and
Let's
they
hear from the
did make
crowd.
sure to capitalize
Make some
for a little bit
noise
for
for yours
counters.
truly.
Similar kind of bans coming in, but this time around, the Benedetta should be there, of course.
Yeah, the Benedetta respect ban. I'm waiting for it. If EDR can go for it. Still, a constant ban. This has been. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. So, what will Ada pull up this time around? Because I know this girl can play any kind of
Let's
hero
hear
into
from
the
the
jungle.
crowd.
Even the Suyo is
Make
still
some
one
noise
of
for
her
yours.
When the
choices.
body
I will never
suffers,
know. The Suyo hasn't been performing
the
quite a lot
spirit
in the
blooms.
tournament so far, so it's not really a good option here.
They call
But
me a
still, a
hero
constant ban coming
because I saved my
coming in from
nation
the
from
side of
falling
9, and they
apart.
have to take away the CC and the Florin and. What was the other band they usually go for? The Matilda?
Who? Should be there though. I feel like the Matilda works very well onto their hands, but
Oh,
once
oh,
again,
Xbox.
this banning of
Light
the
me
heroes
up
that could
and
melt
watch
off.
the
So
world
for 9
burn!
might be a Bakshia, might be somewhere, you know, something of a Fredrin as well. They could capitalize it, but now this is going to be such a decision making for the side of Team Uria. They have to come up
Mm.
with the execution very well that they get the win onto their hands.
And now that the blue side is for UDR, right? They have the first pick, so
Muscle
they
of
went and
iron,
opt for a
stones of
flexible
steel.
jungle, not jungle, flexible hero, which can go onto the room as well as the XP lane, and it can be it can be a good flex coming in. So Neko will be locking on into this Gatot Gatra here, but right now there are a lot of choices to go for, and I feel like they are. Actually, UDR are true with the juicing. They do not want to juicing anymore into the first pick because it was actually Sarah was actually playing very good into the Kimmy and the juicings, but they weren't able to end those games. They weren't able to get those objectives good for them. So it's kind of highly unlikely that he will still go for it. But the Kadita completely left open will be put
My
into the hands of
mission
Zenya
is to
again,
protect
and Karapai
lives.
still going for the Hylas here.
So once again, I do want to see a Kimmy coming in, middle lane Kimmy. I just let's see. As of now, the Karita is there. Karita along with the high loss. High loss really played a very big part into the last game. This time around, to avoid that slows, I do want to see a assassin coming up. Will it be a assassin? But no, they capitalize the Kufra as of now.
Yeah, the Kufra already onto the side for Remy. I think it's more of a comfort pick, but oh wait, this is
True
actually
love
gonna be a
is like
jungle
blood.
Carmilla here. Okay, Rhea still sticking to the
Forces
utility
of
jungle
the
at the very end
Evolve.
here. This is the match point, by the way, for the side of 9mm. They can literally play anything that they want right now, but still a flex for both of them, right? Because oh no, the flex is no more because there are three tankies. The carry already making into the scene again the third time in a row onto the hands of Akiko. Because why not? Because they have a lot
I've
of
been
utilities onto
waiting
the
for
side
too
of
long.
UDR. They need a damage. The Airtel is still out for grabs, but oh no, 9mm. They know their priorities right.
Let's
They have to
go.
ban it away.
That's true. That's true.
See
Fredrin
value
on
in me?
already there. Even
You
I felt like
should.
it might be a
It's
Fredrin
my
onto
way
their
or the
hands, but
highway.
banning it up, it's a very well deserved ban. But as of now, there is a carry. I feel like even if they wanted to go in for such a tanky picks, the carry should have been banned. They are not
Mm.
able to reach up to
Rocks
Akiko a
need
lot,
no
and
protection
that's
from the
such an
rain.
hindrance. Now they have to pick up a maze that will be allowing Akiko to be out of the place. What are the choices?
Uh, there's a lot of focus onto the jungle here for UDR because they are banning out the jungle possibility. Actually, it's a five jungle ban coming out from UDR. So, Akiko, man, what will you go for here? Because there's not a lot of options available, but if you wanna go for the alpha, it's still out there. You do not really wanna play the Hayabusa here, but still they're sticking for the last big jungle. Okay, that's actually very, very good because the Lancelot is also still available, but you do not really want to use the Lancelot against a Kufra because I'm not even sure if Ada played the Lancelot too, but a very solid choice coming in for the XP lane, the Lapu Lapu here onto the hands of Adai's Minor.
Let's see, let's see. Lapu is going to be such an annoying hero onto the front lanes. They need something to stop that out as well. They need something to stop the Hylos as well. Now that comes the Kadita as well. Farsa could be such a good pick. Does have the range, does have enough, making sure that she will be there. A little bit into the back lanes, but Siren with the Melissa. And
This land is our
another
homeland,
signature
and it
pick,
will soon be
but
our
I
burial
am not
ground.
sure of this game though. They do have a lot of close range zero, which is true, but
Need some
needs to
stitches?
have
I
her
can
ultimate
help.
very quickly.
It's time to
Mm.
go to the Aradisha
And
for some fun.
It's gonna be actually a very vulnerable hero here. If Ada go for the Hayabusa, I feel like it's gonna be a very good choice because it's also a good hero to go against the Melissa too. So it might actually be working out well. But they also do have Genya onto the Kadita already, which can be a target locker for the squishier backliners. But I like that Sarah went for the Lilia here because she's one of the few marksmen, not marksmen, mages that can go for the purify, and you really wanna go for the purify when you are against a hero like the Candida here. But still, the Esmeralda coming into play onto the jungle, that's a possibility that Ada will be going for. I'm not
Night
sure
sky
why the
tells
Esmeralda was
all.
picked up because there's not much of a shield coming through from the opponent side from UDR, so might be another, the bands are too much for her that she had to stick to the Esmeralda into the jungle.
Let's see though. Carmilla Jungle, they really put a lot of damage thing in onto their hands of the Melissa as well as the Lilia. Now it all depends on them to quickly farm up and get their damage going. For the side of Team Yuri, are really happy to see that they have a little bit of a early game situation, the early game, dominance with the Lilia. But again, it's a Kadita. Look at the Kadita. She has enough manpower to reach towards the back lanes. Plus, Akiko will be there to, melt it down. So let's see what will be the outcome. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you into the land of dawn once again. This might be the last game that you might be witnessing, or Team Uriar comes up with a victory into their hands. Anything could be possible because this is Mobile Legends 5v5.
Yeah, anything is absolutely possible, but this time around the draft are set straight. For the side of UDR, they want all the frontliners and they wanna play for Sarah, they wanna play for Siren. But if this works out well, they will be able to get the game. But then again, a lot of pressure coming in already for the mid side too, because this is what you wanna see when you have a Lilia clear out the rotate cost and help and eat out your side laners as much as possible. But Remy though with the jump.
Wada is a miner. Look at that. She's doing too much damage. She's waiting up. The members come in very quickly. Ria will be getting spotted out. They try to go in, but now she is just much more interested in the creep rather than, actually going in. Esmeralda, though, on the other hand, there comes a jump from Brimmy. Just a little bit of a poke damage. First blood, it's just kind of, not possible as of now.
Yeah, they are too tanky to get the first blood going on, and when you are on a Kadita also, you're gonna need that level 4 to be the best teammates that you are. But for now, the better rotation will be for UDR here because they have a much more better clearance with the Kufra as well as the Lilia here. So for UDR right now, the map pressure is definitely onto their hands, and even into the top lane with the rotation that they did for the Lapu Lapu against the Lapu Lapu, they will be eventually giving their Gatot Gata, their Nico, a little bit of a good time to try to rotate early onto the map and get the turtles going on for them. But freezing is happening onto the goal lane side, so Siren not giving out any goal into the hands of Akiko right now, but level 4 gonna be hit and we might be eventually seeing a class for the first objective.
Onto the side of C9MM, they are very much prioritizing the EXP as well as the mage getting level 4 as quickly as possible, which is a good thing. Just because of the one thing that the EXP lane as well as the tank is almost close to the level of 4. Oh, there comes the AOG, look at that, a little puff, but at the same time, Heropi looking quite low. Oxley will be just making sure to lower them down, but Rhea being Rhea, there's Ada picks up the turtle and moves backwards. There comes the glorious pathway, but no, it's just a little bit of, exchanges of blows.
There was a very good rotation coming out from Ada is minor onto the Lavu because she was able to get that black shoes popped by Sarah here very early on, even before the fight of the turtle. So this is definitely giving them the lead that they are requiring, and the first turtle, the first objective, as always, going into the hands of Ada again, especially when they have this kind of heroes, they want that early game. So this is what they're gonna be having a lead on to now. But Siren doing so well onto the lane against the carry here. Look at that.
Oh, Melissa though, she's holding up very well, even though she knows the situation might be 2v1 or maybe 3v1 very soon enough. But Kufras is waiting it up. Now, there's quite a few cooldown onto her hand. So I feel like spotting out the Karita might be a very good thing. Let's see though. There comes the jump coming in from Keropi. Siren is in a very safe position, but I can't say the same for this Kukra. Kind of, in a little bit that position, but Keropi, nah, there's a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage she's taking.
Wow.
Here comes the first blood. UDR taking it away after 3 minutes, almost closing down to the 4 minutes. Now they are looking for the same snowball that Team 9mm wants.
Yeah, these teams, these two squads, they are very disciplined. There's no brawly kind of fights. They are very, very decisive on what kind of fights they are going to be taking. And this time around, it's actually going to be one kill under 5 minutes of this game. Because, yeah, you do not really usually see this. But at least they are very disciplined that they do not trade away all those kills. But the first kill onto the hands of Sarah with that Lilia will be actually giving her a little bit of a lead that they won. And now the pressure coming in from the Lilia with the jump potential that she have, even with the less in the burst, it make it out with the visions, with the bloom, as well as the continuous damage that she's gonna be dealing. So the turtle is gonna be onto the focus her UDR, and actually this time around they will be the one actually having the better set.
Let's see the turtle though. Ada is still locking around to take it away onto the hand, but now there comes the AOJ as well as that.
Oh!
Ada once again with the turtle. Look at that. Not really with the same. The right like will be popped up. That will be Neko for you. And the team really don't want to go in for brawl because they just lost Brilliant.
Oh my god, that is actually very bad for UDR here. They really needed that turtle. They had the better set, but there's not much of a card control against Ada to try to stop her to go for the clutch steal again, which she was also doing with the Benedetta, and she's doing again now with the Esmeralda. So this is definitely going to be giving them the lead 1-1 onto the scoreboard, but the goal 2k goal into the hands of from 9mm again. And for the objective fights that's been happening all over the map, I feel like I want to give the credit for the Lapu Lapu here. He was able to dive into the backlines and be the distractor that she needs to be, and she's been doing her job very well. And this give them a leeway to try to get for those to try to go for this turtle fight for the time. But what lane though?
Oh, there's some little bit of pressure coming in for Ada as well. She's taking so much damage, but Remy has to go back. Sarah will be waiting in the rough space, but the black shoes though at the very worst timing possible. She will be taken down.
Oh no, that was actually dire. Oh, another one?
Oh, there comes the Inspire from Siren as well. They're trying to melt it down. Xenia looking quite low. It's away. Rhea picks it up. But onto the front lane, Kiko will be making sure to capitalize the turret onto the hands of the minion pressure will be coming in. Now Kiko joins the team fight. The Siren as well. They're trying to get in, but no, they did not. There comes the Remy as well.
Wow!
It's the flicker that she just made, but the members though, they need the members online as soon as possible. They're really damaged, they're looking quite slow. But this is the perfect counter time for Team 9mm to back up, but they don't do that.
Yeah, UDR with a little bit of a clapback that they have right now. Siren building up the rose goal. The basic blade was able to help them survive from Ada right there, and this is gonna be a little bit of a gain right here. But still, 9mm, they do still have the lead goal wise, but the turtle is already upped, and whichever have the better set will be able to get the snowball rolling. But UDR also, they are not behind this time around. They can try to contest onto this turtle, which is going to be important for them. But even if they do not have the lead, they can try to compensate out onto the side lanes as well. But it's still going to be actually very hard because they are made to compose together, to try to stay together most of the time. But it cannot happen when there is always a Lapu Lapu who's always diving onto the backlines and trying to join them away.
Oh, there must there isn't much of a presence that Lapu Lapu has shown us as of now, but we are closing down to the mid game as of now officially. So yep, the Lapu Lapu is gonna be there. There comes the black shoes for Sarah, just making sure she will be out of the way, but Remy unfortunately will be falling down. Although they will be capitalizing it into the hands of Sarah once again, but this is not a perfect opportunity to take down the turtle though. I mean, there is a chance that Team India can contest, but they're not going in for the same.
Oh, no retribution just yet for Rhea here was actually stopping them from contesting onto this turtle. But Yeah, getting Akiko the turtle is definitely gonna be a less unfortunate situation for the side of UDR. You do not really want to do that to give away the carries all those damage dealing equipments here. So it's gonna be dire for them to try to shut down this Akiko even before the team fights. But there's no possibility. There's no way. There's no one who can dive and get the backlines done because even if the Gato was there, even if Nico was able to get the stuns onto the people onto the backlines, the damage are actually very less here because even on the Lilia you're gonna need to have the going one to get that damage dealt, which she already pick up for Sarah here, so the damage might eventually be palpable here. But even Siren, she's gonna be needing the Trinity to be able to dish out the damage that's required, and the team fights and only then at that point the team fights will actually be worthwhile for 9MM.
That's true. That's true. They were trying to go fight in into the mid lane as of now, trying to capitalize it for their hands, but it's not happening as of now. Remy is getting zoned out by Lapu Lapu. So I don't like that. I mean, given the fact that Team 9MM are just making sure that the members won't be coming out. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But
Mm.
Team 2DR really needs to fight back. They really need to show that the picks that they have can work it out. The picks are, yes, a little bit unconventional picks. I do agree with the fact that uh, you don't see a Carmela jungle every day.
Yeah.
So they did capitalize it very well with the Lilia as well as the Melissa as well. But coming online, Melissa really needs a lot of time. Talking about late game, and if they stretch it up to the late game, at 9mm, they can capitalize it there onto their hands.
And actually, they do actually have the damage onto Sarah here. If she does have a little bit of spacing, oh look at that.
There comes the fight. Look at that. Once again, the members are just making sure that they will be dealing damage. The front laners are kind of out of the place, coming in from the side of Team UDR, but really, as well as a Kiko backline, that's a lot of damage. The first blood really helps. And Remy will be busted out, and along with third members might be here. She does have to start here to get an easy. That's a triple kill, but she will be shut down.
What a play! Yeah, taking down 3 members. What a trade of events that she was able to do so. But unfortunate for them, 9MM, they did lose onto the members, and even Sarah is still available for the fight, so they'll be able to get down onto this mid turret and a little bit of a comeback that they're making right now. So they are gonna be actually getting all to the goals that they are losing, but then 9mm they still have the advantage onto the maps as well. But if you look at and focus onto this item builds right now, Sky Pacer into the hands of a Kadita. This is a very very aggressive Kadita, so I'm pretty sure she went for this Sky Pacer because she have a lot of damage onto her hands as well. But one thing's for sure is that the carry is going to be hurting herself because there's 2 blade armors already onto the hands of the Kufra as well as the Carmela. So Rhea and Remy, they are trying to get the front line as much as possible, but the Lord Tease, the Lord Dance is also out there. But you know what? They're actually UDR are catching up onto the goal lead, but the Lord blitzed down by Akiko here.
Yeah, Team UDR, they don't have any pathway as of now to come inside the river area. That alone shows that 9MM really wants that aggression, really wants to make sure they get their win into their hands and move forward. But at the same time, they're losing turrets. Now, this is a bad thing, given the fact that there's no Lord coming up. Remy, wait a minute, tries to go in, but nah, she just waits it out. I feel like for the side of Team UDR, yes, they won't be taking a fight anytime soon, given the fact that the Lord's coming in. The score has been equalized 8-8. The snowball has gone into the hands of Team 9MM.
Yeah, and this is actually a very very good Lord timing, I would say, because 12 minutes of this game, the Lord is already marching onto the top lane, and the bottom lane is gonna be completely left open for them to clear it out. So it's just a Destructor Lord right now because it's not an Evolved Lord, so it's not gonna be as tanky as you want it to be, but make a deal out of it and get an advantage of this Lord, and they'll be able to get that bot turret down. So right now with the ever existing discipline from both of these teams. No overstaying, no overcommitment from both of the sides. Even UDR, even if they are onto the losing side, they were able to hold back and lessen the amount of times that they are picked off. Even Sarah doing so well onto this Lilia, able to get down only once, which is actually a very very good thing when you are on the Lilia too, because you want to be alive as much as possible because the frontliners are into your hands to blitz down.
Oh, that's true. That's true. The Karita moving out of the way. She knows that she might be targeted. Now, Karita though, 5-2-2. That's a very good score talking about into the 14 minutes into the game. They're just kind of capitalizing it with the tier twos already out, but the tier threes, that's going to be a thing that is going to happen after 1 minute. There's still a lot of time for the Lord to come in, but with that, Akiko is farmed out.
Akiko is farm up, and this is actually dire for UDR to have an end stat to this. But look at that, though. Damage. It's gonna be out right now. Azar into the backlines with a lot of skills, just trying to get away and drone out the members from the side of UDR right now. No fight just yet. A little bit of a tease here and there, just trying to look for a trader for the fight that's gonna be happening when the law is up. But the law is still having time to get up and ready. So with the ever existing discipline that these two teams has been showing, we're not gonna be seeing much of a brawl, but we are definitely gonna be seeing a little bit of a pick up here and there just before the start of this next neutral objective, and it's already gonna be up in less than 5 seconds, and maybe just maybe 9mm will be backing off and try to set up for this reload again.
That's true, that's true. Let's see. There's a lot of going down to the side of team 9mm. They just want to make sure that they will be poked away from this Lord. Lord hasn't spawned there quickly. They just capitalizing it. Or look at that. They are not able to enter the river area. That is going to be a problem. But Ria though into the back lane, just making sure, waiting up for the perfect speed time for the gods of blood. She does pops it in.
Oh,
2 members, 3 members knock up, and there comes a pause. No way, that was such a good moment that Carmilla did have. Oh,
yeah,
quickly.
that.
The action's gonna be coming up in one. Ada looking quite low. Remy was the one taking
Oh,
down the Lord. Semi onto the battle. Double kill picked up. The Siren is safe as of now, but they lost 2 members for 1 member. Look at them trying to make it down. Killing spree for Sarah. Are they going in for more? But no, T9MM will be backing off.
2 to 2 onto the skill board, but still low into the hands of Remy. What a perfect steal coming in. There was an awkward post, but they were able to recover from it, and this is gonna be a little bit of a stepping stone for the side of UDR. 10 to 10 score, and I think this is what they're gonna be needing. UDR one lot, at least one lot is gonna be required for them to try to have a little bit of a comeback that they are looking for, and this is actually gonna be something close to a green light that they want right now. But onto the top side though, this is actually Ada is Minor being such a nuisance, just trying to clear out the minions so that they will not be able to sneak out onto these minions as well. But we might eventually be seeing a fight onto the top side.
Oh, let's see though, Neko though, like, admits for people white X is not get taken down, but that will be Ada the Miner who will be taken down. But at the same time, Team Yuria will have to capitalize a lot of turrets. They are lacking. You're talking about only tier 3s as of now being blown off. Keropi onto the back lane in zone. The snowball is back onto the hands of Team Yuria. Look at that.
Yeah, this is actually good for UDR as of now. But oh my goodness, Ada, man,
Look
trying
at
to
her.
get yeah, she's just playing it like an assassin would do, right? Onto this Esmeralda, and I think she's on a also on a damage tool as well, but. They're gonna be under the chase, but Akiko is still around the corner. If they wanna go for a reverse kind of team fight, they might eventually be able to do so. But Remy right now, look at that. They're so immobile. I thought it was a pose.
Oh, wait a minute, Zen will be stand up 2 stuns continuously. The bouncing ball won't be stopping her with the rough face, and she is out of the way. Akiko comes in, there comes the Esmeralda as well. Ria was the first one to fall down. Next might be the Zenya as well. Yep, Zenya, Neko, Ria out of the way. That's 2 for 2. But this means the Lord though, they taking Rhea out of the way, Team 9mm can capitalize the lore once again very quickly, but it's still quite a few seconds left. Oh, wait, that was such a lot of damage.
Yeah, there was a lot of damage already. But yeah, Siren, I feel like we need to see the builds. Okay, there we go. The builds are in, and she's already full build without the boots, so that's extra survivability with the rose gold meter. So she doesn't want to be taken down just yet. No win of nature because of course she knows that the frontliners are strong enough to try to sustain all of those. And of course, UDR, they are built to go for that, right? They are built to have the mages showdown onto the back lines, onto the front lines, so their backlines will be able to deal out the damage, but also Ada is onto a full damage build of a
Oh my
okay, look at
god.
that.
Hylos just walked onto the death bush like that and snap. Boom. She's out. That's a lot of damage now. Yuri are capitalizing the Lord as well. Will no others not gonna get any time to come back, but they might capitalize the lane for their hands. They are going for a little bit more damage for the Slapu Lapu, but now Garuka's a very quick thinking. The inhibitor will be taken down, so that means it is mission success for Ada, but at the same time, Lords would come up.
Now it's gonna be up, and this is a very, very dire position, dire lore for both of these teams. One man down for the side of 9mm might eventually be giving UTR a little bit of a breathing space and a little bit of a lead that they want to go for. But the pressure always coming in from the lanes is actually stopping them, right? Because most of the time when you have a pressure into the side lanes, it's just that you are not going to be having that time to sync it all out. So this is actually happening for the bot lane here. And other still such a nuisance, just trying to get a little bit of a distraction onto the bot lane here again. But this is an evolved Lord PT, and I feel like UDR does have a chance to end this game.
My, what a game that we are looking at. But at the same time, look at them. The lots coming in, the inhibitor is still standing strong. There's one tier 3 still raising it up. So, yep, they did let other world get a lane cut, so they won't be pushing it in. It was enough manpower with the damage to get the Lord as well. So, not reaching it up towards the Quester. Mid lane taken down, but there is like off camera thing going on between Ada as well as Neko. Neko will be forced to pop out the revive like, but at the top lane, Siren will be slowed down with the glorious pathway. They are trying to get it in, but now the stun. That's so much space, Sarah, with the black shoes just making sure she will be surviving, but Akiko takes it up. That's an opportunity. Siren, Sarah already down, so that means there's only the tanky members left, and there's only Neko left. What are they going to do? They're trying to clear down the mid lane as soon as possible. Akiko is alive. That means they are going to have enough attack speed onto their hands. Will they come spawn on time?
Oh my goodness, the Holy Seal is still out there available for them, but the timing is still very awkward. 3 members. Oh, look at the goal that way.
They are not interested in the Kikotokacha as of now, but now AOG drops in 2 members knocked up. The Immortality will be saving Neko, but not for long. Kiko takes it away, and the crystal is open. They are not here on time. And Team 9 the grand championship of the Empress Cup Season 1. We got our queens sitting on the throne.
That's so deserving. That's so perfect. The unbeatable queens throughout this tournament, able to end the game, to end the grand finals with a direct, clean sweep. This was a bit of a lesser, a bit of a 50-50 chances coming out of both of the side, but UDR, they did perform so well, but what can you do when there's so much of a synergy, so much of a micro good mechanism coming out from the side of 9mm? PC, I feel like they are so good, this team. They are in their prime. 9 Meow Meow, was it the name?
Yep,
9 Meow Meow.
correct. We got our victors. We got our queens. Look at them. Keropi once again with the MVP on her hands. Now, the
Yeah.
was top notch. Look at them. They just made sure to capitalize each and every single members as much as possible. That was there. And once again, I scouting for the highest damage. One lakh damage. Yup, that's Dave Sarah. This time around,
One.
that's as a mage, Lilia especially dealing that
Yeah.
much damage That's a lot. So both the teams really did well, but this is Mobile Legends 5v5. Only one can be the victor, and that's going to be Team Point Nine Meow Meow. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, the first time they are performing, I mean, not performing, they are forming a team, and this is the first cup they're going to be getting a new team. But there's a lot of good micros onto their hands as well. And shout out to UDR too, like you already mentioned, they were so consistently playing so well onto the game, the draft as well. They were able to do it so well, especially Sarah onto whatever hero she's on. She was able to get and deal out the most damages available for them. But Nine Meow Meow, they are just better here at this point. Congratulations to them.
Yes, sir. And with that, that's a wrap for the Empress Cup season number one. Season number one was mentioned in the title, so that means there are going to be many, much more seasons. I do love to see, new teams coming up as well on the season number two. And with that, I would like to extend the gratitude towards the organization, towards the streamers, the casters,
Yes.
every single members, even the teams who came up here right from the round number one did their best right there. So thank you everyone, even the audience. You guys been such a wonderful audience. Really loved having you in the comment section as well. It was entertaining.
Hmm.
And
I
with
would
that,
say,
yep.
yeah, we could end it right.
Yeah, that's a wrap, guys. See you guys next time.